Hey, what's up, everybody? This is J Rocks. Welcome to my channel. Now, today we're gonna be talking about a few things you should know if you're considering starting a fragrance collection, be it colognes, perfumes, whatever. Okay, so if that sounds interesting to you, you might want to think about hitting that subscribe button to get more fragrance related content. Now, let's get into the first thing you should know. When you're collecting fragrances, you should always be aware that there's different types of concentrations. So you will have your EDT, which is the most common you will see at your drugstores, your malls, and so forth. It stands for Eau de Toilette. These fragrances tend to have more alcohol, tend to smell a little stronger, and last maybe less time. So you will also get them at a cheaper, more affordable price. Then you would have your eau de parfums or EDPs. These tend to not smell as strong, as loud. They don't project as much, but they tend to last longer. So as opposed to, like I say, an EDT being eau de toilette will last 6 to 7 hours, EDP or a parfum might last you 9 hours, but it will be a lot softer projector, meaning you have to be like in front of a person talking to them and so forth. And the EDT, you could just pass by and they'll catch whiffs of your scent. So these are things you need to know. Are you trying to, project loud and be noticed, or you just trying to smell good and so only the person that's directly in front of you can notice your scent. These are things that are important when choosing a fragrance that you want to buy. Now, of course, this can vary depending on the type of scent DNA you're buying and so forth. Now, you also have your parfums, which those are stronger and the same thing. They don't project as loud, but they last longer. Then you also have your extrait, which is even more stronger, more concentrated oils. And you have your eau de cologne, which are the ones you see less often, but are something you throw on right after the shower, maybe only lasts 3 or 4 hours. So that would be your first one would be eau de cologne, then eau de toilette, eau de parfum, parfum, extrait. That it goes in that order as far as quality and how long it will last. That doesn't dictate how strong it will smell though. So always keep that in mind. Second thing you want to know before purchasing a fragrance is keep this in mind. What statement are you trying to make? Like just like clothes, will you just want a t-shirt and jeans, or you trying to buy a tie and suit? Those make two completely different statements, and people will look at you two completely different ways depending on what you're wearing. Fragrances can be the same thing. They kind of are an extension of your wardrobe. So if you wearing a suit and tie for an important business meeting, or in a situation where you're trying to impress, or you're the boss, you dress like that all the time, you want to wear something that says I'm to be taken a little more serious, right? You want to impress more as well. So for these situations, you might want to wear something that's less playful. Like you don't want to wear something that smells like lemon or oranges, that just smells clean and bright. You want to wear something that might smell like a sweet tobacco, maybe a incense or something smoky, or a rose. These type of scent DNAs are considered more mature, so you'll be taken that way when you present yourself to somebody. And then you have, of course, your lemon, citrus, orange. Those are useful and fun when you're just trying to hang out and just dress casual in a t-shirt and jeans. So always keep that in mind. What kind of fragrance are you looking for? If you're looking for something that's an everyday wear, you just throw on every day, you might want to go with something a little more playful, not so heavy, dense, or nothing too serious, or maybe even like a barbershop if you're a little bit of an older gentleman. Third thing you should know is you have your designer fragrances being Versace, Chanel, Dior, Armani, Dolce Gabbana. These are your designer fragrances. We've all heard those brands. We see them at every mall we go to. Then you have your niche. That these are as specific boutiques that only sell fragrances and so forth, right? These tend to be more expensive, and they're called niche for a reason because these are not usually fragrances you would wear every day. They're meant for niche occasions. Like they're meant for specific things. They would be more expensive, but since they're meant for only specific occasions, they will last you longer because you're not gonna wear them every day. You're not gonna wear them as often. So you kind of get your money's worth in that way. You're not gonna go through them in 2 months. You know what I mean? as opposed to your designers, something you're gonna be wearing every day. Now, if you're just your average everyday goer, I would consider not buying too many niche, just a few for those important occasions where you really want to impress and say, look, I'm living lavishly, I feel luxurious. And for the most of the other time, you don't need to spend so much money unless you're a collector of fragrances and you like having hundreds of bottles. Then who am I to tell you what to do with your collection? But if you are just looking for a few and you just want to smell nice, you don't need to spend a lot of money to smell good. Which brings me to my next tip. Price doesn't dictate how long a fragrance will last, and it doesn't dictate how good the scent itself will smell. Remember, fragrances, scents are just like food. You might love something that I don't. I might love something you don't. That's the beauty of this, that there's so many variety for everybody's taste. Now, that's one thing people expect when you're paying high prices, that it's gonna smell stronger, it's gonna last longer. That's not always the case. Most of the time, these expensive fragrances are more reserved because they're meant to be more elegant, so they don't smell as strong. And a lot of these cheaper fragrances and most of the designer fragrances smell a lot stronger because they have a higher alcohol level instead of a higher oil level. So alcohol tends to project louder than the oil will. Okay, last but not least, this is a little bit of a controversial subject sometimes to some people, is clones. Clones is kind of, I don't want to say it in this word, but for it could be easier for you guys to understand. It's considered to a lot of people like pirating or bootleg. So some people stay away from that because they don't like that idea of that. Some like that idea. So that just depends on your preference and what you think about the whole subject. But clones are basically, there's expensive brands that a lot of us can't afford, and they're just there to make a statement. They cost these expensive prices, like $200, $300 for a bottle of perfume, and it's just to say I'm wearing this expensive perfume. It's to make a statement, basically to be a little snobbish, and then the marketing will try to convince you that, oh no, it's because it's such better quality and it's so well made. That's all just a sales pitch. Or really, you can find a lot of these clone houses like this one I have here, for example, Arha Main. This is called Neroli Canvas. You can find this for like $50, and it's a dupe of a fragrance called Neroli Portofino by Tom Ford. That one goes for like $200 when you could buy this one for 50 online. They smell pretty much the same. They don't smell exactly the same though. There are some differences. The difference in this one is it smells better and it lasts longer, and you get it for a cheaper price. So sometimes there's really no reason to buy the more expensive option other than to say I'm wearing the expensive name brand. And sometimes it can go the other way around. Sometimes it can be a duplicate that's really not well made, and you notice a lot of differences, like they really fell at it. So that's something you gotta be careful of when you buy these clones. It's a mixed bag. Sometimes it could be a better than the original. Sometimes it could be just as good, and sometimes it could be a complete flop. So you always gotta keep that in mind. And these, a lot of times, you gotta kind of blind buy them. You can't go to a store and try them out because it's kind of hard to find stores that carry these. So that's always something to keep in mind. But if you're looking to save a few bucks and you just want the scent, you don't want the name brand bottle, or you just want to smell nice and you just like it for the scent, you could consider looking into these clone houses. Okay, I hope these tips were helpful for when you're going out looking for a fragrance yourself. Always walk in knowing these things, and you'll be, this is not the end all be all. There's still a lot more stuff to learn, but you'll be headed in the right direction. Okay, guys, if you like what you saw, hopefully you hit that like button, helps out the channel, and hopefully you stay tuned for more content. I'll see you guys later.